Xbox On. Welcome to Xbox On, a podcast with one host about one console, Xbox. I'm said host Jesse DeRosa, and on today's episode, we'll be talking about the latest Xbox news for the week of September 18, 2025, including Kamiya is out here bitching again about Scalebound. Finally, a developer speaks positively about the Xbox Series S. The future of Far Cry may be what you feared, and more. On this week in Xbox history, actually this day in Xbox history, in the year 2007, 18 years ago, Blazing Angels 2, Secret Missions of World War II was released for the Xbox 360. Ubisoft published, Ubisoft developed dog-fighting, airplane combat, military game. And this is one of those box arts. I can't unsee it. I've seen it so many times. Xbox Marketplace, Blockbuster, Walmart, Best Buy, GameStop. Have I ever played it? No. Would I ever play it? No. Will I ever play it? No. Will I ever shut up? No. What else is there to say about Blazing Angels 2? Secret Missions of World War II. You guys tell me, write in. Do you have any fond memories of this game? If so, tell me why I'm an idiot for not speaking fonder of it. And, I don't know. I'd like to play a game about Secret Missions of World War II, but I want it to be, like, scandalous. I want it to be like, did you know Adolf Hitler had a fucking sock in his drawer that he used to wank off to every night, and he would think about, I don't know, fucking Mussolini, and then Mussolini had a sock in his drawer. One of them had the left sock, and one of them had the right sock, and they used to think about each other at night while they touched themselves. And secret mission. This guy in Poland infiltrated their undergarment drawers and discovered the socks. But by the time he got there, the mission was compromised because the socks were too crusty. Like, I want to play that kind of game, you know? Well, actually, maybe I don't want to play that game. Huh. Guys, we got some not early release. We got some notable games releasing this week. Our first one, the most notable one, is a game that is releasing in early access as of, I don't know, a day or two ago. It's out now, and pretty notable because Skate, yes, the long-awaited return of the EA Skate franchise, has made its debut, or has made its return, I should say. So out now for Xbox Series consoles as well as Xbox One and PC. So here's how it works. So Skate, you remember Skate 1, 2, and 3 back on the Xbox 360. It's been a long time coming. People have been waiting. I think Skate 3 came out in 2011, I want to say. It's been like almost 15 years or something since new Skate games come out, and people have been clamoring for one. And I think EA announced this game, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. So people have been waiting. But the way they're doing Skate now is entirely different because it is a free to play, free to download, free to play, persistent, seasonal content based multiplayer game. So, and it's kind of cool the way they're doing it because they are doing season passes and content like that. But like in the game, there will be a new season literally like every season, every like 3 months or so. And like the setting in the game will change to match the season. And the battle pass or the season pass will be reflective of like gear and attire from like the season, the holidays and the events and stuff going around. And so it's kind of like, you know, like imagine something like a Call of Duty or a Fortnite, but it's more like lifestyle based. Like all the cosmetics and the seasonal changes and stuff are kind of based on like, you know, like a more of a lifestyle game where it's like, oh, you know, new locations, new places, new time of year, new weather, new outfits, new, you know, gear, stuff like that. And I think that's a cool and fun way to approach Skate as a very social and very lifestyle driven game. It's just hard for me to get excited about it though, because Skate was a game I never cared for. I played like the demo of Skates 1 and 2. I remember on Xbox 360, and like the second I realized that they were more like, you got to try harder and like actually try to learn the mechanics of the game, and it wasn't just like Tony Hawk where you can button mash and get a 2 trillion point combo. I was like, well, fuck this game. This isn't what I'm looking for. So I gave up on these games pretty easily and pretty early, and maybe I would appreciate them more as an adult now if I were to go back and give them another try, which I'm certainly not going to do. But that being said, I have every intention and every interest in giving this new version of Skate a try to see, you know, like what is this? Is it entirely different from the Skate I remember? Is it similar? Does older Jesse appreciate this style of game more? I'm definitely open-minded to giving it a good old college try and seeing what it's about. But from what I hear, it is quite, early impressions seem to be that it's not the same skate you remember, although we'll see about that. I don't care. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. But I'll be interested to try. Maybe this weekend, maybe next week. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to give that a go at some point. So remember, it's early access now, so the game's a work in progress. They're trying to finish up and kind of fine-tune the game alongside the community. So you can assume this game will come out in a proper form sometime next year. But what does it really fucking matter? Early access, it's especially when it's a free-to-play game, the game might as well just be out. So Skate is out. It's back. That's cool. Next up, we got Frostpunk 2. Frostpunk is, guys, a tactics game I can't get into. I love the aesthetic. I've always wanted to like these games. I just don't care for them. But Frostpunk 2 is now out on Xbox Series consoles as of the day this podcast goes live. And then lastly, Dying Light the Beast, which was originally supposed to be an expansion to Dying Light 2, but just kept growing and growing into like a bigger project and eventually became its own standalone DLC side, download only spin-off campaign. Dying Light the Beast. We've seen this game for about 2 years now at various events and stuff, and it kind of is this the one that teases more like melee weapons, or is this one where it's more guns? I can't remember, but I don't know. There's apparently it's cool. People who played it like it. It's interesting. It's Dying Light. I feel so behind in Dying Light because I loved the first one. I wanted to play the second one. I just didn't get around to the second one, and now I'm 2 games behind, and I just feel a little overwhelmed by Dying Light now because I just haven't been in the mood. I'm waiting for the mood to strike me, and the mood just hasn't struck me in the past couple of years while I've been waiting to finally get around to Dying Light 2. So here's another game to throw into the backlog, although I'm sure it'll be good because that first Dying Light was pretty fucking good, and I think people like the second one, if I'm not mistaken, but that's Dying Light, so we got another one of those, and that's going to do it for our new game releases of the week. Another little nice chunk of new game releases in case you aren't already drowning in games to play. And it's so frustrating, especially like the situation I'm in right now where I am playing a new game, but I'm happily content just playing these same 2 games that have been out for a long time now that I've been playing the past few weeks. So it's like, in addition to being overwhelmed by all the games coming out, there are games that are years old that I'm more than happy to play. So it's just like, man, the choice is so paralyzing. The desire and the ability to keep up with the release schedule is just more daunting than ever before. But nothing new is being said here. I'm just reflecting on how stressed out I feel thinking about trying to make time for all the games I'm excited to play. When we all know my most anticipated game of the year is, at this point, it's Battlefield 6, and when that game comes out, it's like, fuck everything else. So, I mean, that's the thing. I want to play Outer Worlds 2. I want to play Ninja Gaiden 4. I want to play the Black Ops 7 campaign. I want to play a bunch of other games that are coming out this fall. But it really, you could just give me Battlefield 6 and nothing else. I'd be happy as a pig in shit with that. So, there's that. You guys, let's start out the news this week. Get into it. There's not a whole lot going on this week. It's another slow week. Oh, I do want to just point this out. We'll make a bigger stink about this next week. But just a little PSA before we get into the news. Next week, the show will come out as normal on Thursday morning. But then the week after that, so 2 episodes from now, I will be out of town that whole week. I'll be coming back on Thursday, and so I'm going to make the really stupid decision. Oh, this is a dumb decision. I'm going to make the dumb decision to delay the podcast a day and a half. I don't know. I'm expecting it to kind of be a slow news week that week anyway, although we'll probably have some Tokyo Game Show stuff to talk about. But I'm going to delay the podcast a day because rather than recording another podcast early, so I have one in the chamber for while I'm out of town, I think it's better with the news being as slow as it's been lately to be a day or 2 late, so you're catching up on news as opposed to trying to scrape together a show when there's nothing really to talk about. So just want to give a little PSA, a little heads up in 2 weeks. So that'll be episode 300 and what are we on right now? 329. So 331. That episode is going to come out a day and a half late, sometime on Friday instead of that Thursday. And I just want to give the heads up now, and then we'll talk about it more next week when we're a week away from that happening. But just want to make that little PSA. Now, with that said, let's jump into the news. All right, guys, starting us off, Hideki Kamiya, the Platinum Games guy, the creator of Scalebound, the canceled Xbox game, is out here talking yet again about Scalebound, the canceled project that Platinum Games was working on with Xbox. And he talks about in this interview how Scalebound could have been differently, or how it could have worked out differently had, instead of Xbox, had they been working with a Japanese publisher, due to cultural differences on how game creation is done, based on Japanese versus American companies' perspectives. So it was an interview with VGC, and so Kamiya, who's working currently on a sequel to Okami with this new studio Clovers, said that he thinks Japanese publishers are more open to the studios introducing new game ideas, whereas Western publishers are more comfortable with approving tried and tested game ideas that have already been successful in other, ideas that have been successful in other games. So he talks about the cultural difference and everything. So he says, quote, "On the Japanese side of things, my impression is that if they see that you're trying to make a new invention, they understand the struggle trying to give birth to something new, and they watch over the process with patience. That's where how I see there's a difference with publishers. But for foreign companies, referring to Western companies, if you're trying to invent something new because the shape of it isn't clear yet, and there tends to be more pressure, like show us something that's taken shape more. And if you look at the games themselves, like how first-person shooters were the popular thing for a while, I get the impression that they feel a sense of safety following an established format. Given Scalebound as an example, Kamiya said that the game was going to involve having a player control both human and dragon, but because there was no clear reference or format for us to follow, the such game, he feels it was already easy for some to have doubts. When asked whether Scalebound's development would have therefore gone differently had a Japanese publisher worked with them, Kamiya told VGC that he thinks it would have, stressing that while it doesn't mean that the game would have definitely been released under a Japanese publisher, the studio might have been given more freedom to experiment with new ideas. He says, quote, "I do think it would have been different. I don't think that means that a Japanese publisher working with us would have necessarily means the game would have released and been completed, but I imagine the process would have been different. Japanese companies tend to be more open to new challenges, and I think that the conversations would have been more positively perceived, like, okay, so how should we approach this together? For me personally, overseas publishers seem to have a much stronger desire to see a finished product as quickly as possible. If it had been a Japanese publisher, I feel that they might have given us more leeway. We're talking about what specific title as an example. However, I don't want to be hearing for there to be any misunderstanding. The failure of Scalebound was ultimately the responsibility of Platinum Games, myself as director included. But because I have now experience working with overseas publishers, I felt like the opportunity, if it ever comes again, will find a way to take advantage of both sides' strengths." So I'm glad he ends with that. There's a very good PR way to kind of tie up that statement, because it is kind of a walking on eggshells, potentially upsetting people with that kind of feedback. But I here's the thing, is on the one hand, I want to say I see what he's saying, because I do feel like culturally Americans are impatient and disrespectful of the creative process, and that we are a culture, specifically speaking about the US, because I'm not going to sit here and talk about, fucking Europe and shit. I know that stuff's all about. But in the US, I do think we have a culture that very much values the business side of it. We like strong, dominant figures and aggressive business tactics, and show me the results and stop whining. And I don't care about the circumstances surrounding the situation. I just want to see, a diamond made under pressure. And we do have a kind of a culture that kind of fetishizes that corporate culture, and seems to respect more of the decision makers and the leaders and the business people more than the creatives. I mean, you think about companies like Apple, and nobody gives a shit about the people who make the iPhone. They give a shit about the talking heads that bark orders at the people who have the creative ideas, just as one of many, many, many examples. But we are a culture that, especially when it comes to our companies and the creative output, we tend to remember CEOs and publisher names more than creative people. And I do think that it's clearly shown just in the way people value the careers and the works and the treatment of artists versus business people, that there is some truth to this, no doubt. And you do get a sense that, Japan, a country that is very much introspective and very philosophical, and seems a little more steady and observant, based on, as an outsider observing Japanese culture and Japanese media from a far distance. It does seem like there is more of a culture of let's work in harmony. Let's understand where one another's coming from, and let's try to extract something new or something different and compelling out of this, where you could see, like, just as a freak who consumes Japanese media, you could see based on that kind of stuff, or just what you learn about Japan from YouTube and the internet, that, like, you could see that being more of a thing where if a business is going to invest in a creative or a team, that they might trust the process and trust the creators a bit more, because there's more of a cultural impetus and a cultural expectation to show more respect to the creators and the creative process. So that's cool, and I respect that, and I do appreciate from that perspective, and think that there, perhaps Kamiya is onto something. But that being said, I also feel like there's a little bit of a hypocrisy in what he's saying, because from my perspective, and again, I'm someone who plays way, way, way more Western games than I play, especially Japanese games, and that's obvious as someone who's primarily an Xbox player, a console that has very little Japanese support, but as someone who does have a lot of exposure to Japanese games and has played enough of them to know a thing or two, I will say, yes, American publishers and developers are obsessed with trend chasing. During the Xbox 360 era, everything was trying to be a Halo, a Call of Duty, or a Gears of War, and nowadays everything wants to be a Fortnite, and it's just like everything is just trend chasing. And hey, here's a proven formula, or a proven mechanic, or a proven concept. Let's try our version of this, and every publisher is jerking each other off trying to figure out who can make the next Fortnite. So no doubt there is a lot of that going on. But when I look at Japanese games, I feel like I kind of see the same shit too. Like, you look at Japanese games, and it's like, oh, it's a fucking RPG, and it takes 2,000 hours to beat, and you play as young children, and the girl is like 13 and naked, but don't worry, the instruction manual says she's 98 years old, so it's okay that she's half naked. And it's all about, like, melodrama, and, like, it's a Japanese role-playing game, and there's like 87 different fucking combat systems that are layered on top of each other, and it's convoluted, and you won't get to the second cutscene until you're 47 hours into the game, and then game critics are gonna goon all over this fucking product because for some reason the games industry is obsessed with Japanese role-playing games. But most people who play it outside of those kinds of people are gonna be like, I don't fucking get what's so special here. This is kind of weird. This game's weird. Why are we playing this? This is a weird game. Why does that girl look like she's 13 if she's 98? Oh my god, we're like a millimeter away from seeing her nipples. What is going on here? Her butt cheeks are just hanging out. You promised me this woman's 98 years old, and she's a fairy, and she's a princess, and she's dead again, but she looks like she's 13. Okay, Japan, I get you. So it's like, listen, man, I feel like Japanese games are kind of all one the same too, in a way. I feel like there's a couple genres where it's like, yeah, every fucking Japanese game is a Japanese role-playing game, or some kind of visual novel, or some kind of whatever Souls game or whatever, whereas you could point and laugh and say the same thing about Western games, where it's like everything's a Fortnite, everything's a Call of Duty, everything's a Assassin's Creed style game. But or like an Uncharted clone or something. It's like, yeah, but like, I don't know, I think it goes both ways, if I'm just being completely honest. That being said, I do appreciate the insight in the feedback. But and I will give Hideki Kamiya a pass this time, because it seems like the interviewer at VGC really started to bring this up more and more. But generally speaking, I think Hideki Kamiya talks way too fucking much about Scalebound. It's been a long ass time. Let's just shut up. Let's let this go. Scalebound's not going to come back. It's over. It's dead. You're working on a new game. Let's move on. For love of Christ almighty, let's move on. So that is my overall opinion on this, though I do appreciate his perspective, even though I only somewhat agree with what he's saying, but I do appreciate the perspective nonetheless. Guys, let's move on. Speaking of getting away from Japan, talking about something more important, let's talk about a game that fetishizes something that we love here in the West. Guns, violence, men who are strong, who have explosives and could pop your fucking face off in 2 seconds if they wanted to. I'm talking about Battlefield 6. RFK Jr. once made a really astute observation. He said, I think it might be video games that's making people want to shoot people. And it's so true, because you guys know me. I've always been a big Call of Duty fan. I've always liked Battlefield, had an on and off again relationship with it. But lately, I've been like really into Battlefield. I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 2042. I can't wait for Battlefield 6. I really love the beta. So you know me. I'm all about like, oh man, when I get behind the computer and I start playing Battlefield 6, I think, where's my dad's guns? I just got to go shoot a school. Oh my God, I can't wait to go shoot a popular far right-wing Nazi influencer on the internet. I got to kill someone because I played Battlefield for fun sometimes after work. Oh man. I played Call of Duty the other day, and Nicki Minaj was shooting a unicorn, and Beavis and Butthead stood in the corner and watched, and now I just want to see little children bleed, and that's, because that's, our government's doing that again, instead of like, helping American people get insurance and healthcare and affordable housing, we're just scapegoating video games for the 50th goddamn time in 35 years. So that's so fucking cool that we're back to square one and we just can't make any goddamn progress in this country. So that's awesome. So all that to say, Battlefield 6 is in the news, and in a good way, because like finally there's a developer out here talking some good talk about the Xbox Series S, talking about developing a game for the Xbox Series S like the S like Samantha, in a way that is positive. And that talks about how this console, this platform, is actually doing something good for the industry right now. So that's cool. Let's read here. So from VGC, Battlefield 6's technical lead says that optimizing the shooter for Microsoft's entry-level Xbox Series S console made the whole game more stable. Like all Xbox releases, Battlefield 6 is obligated to release on both the Series S and X consoles. Speaking to Kotaku, the game's lead tech developer admitted that getting the shooter to run on the Series S had been more of a challenge. He said, I will say that the biggest thing we did that was a challenge for us was dealing with the console's limited memory. And technical director Christian Buhl said that the Xbox Series S does have less memory than even our mid-spec PCs. However, there was a point of, I want to say like 6 or 12 months ago, when we kind of realized that a lot of our levels were crashing on the Series S. But after the team focused on optimizing memory usage in Battlefield 6, Bull said that the process made the game a whole lot better and more stable, in addition to specific improvements on the Series S. So we've added so much testing, we're collecting all this data, and he says that once we started running through the levels and through all of it, we were able to see where the problems were. After a month or two, we had the game, we had kind of resolved all of our memory issues on the Series S. According to technical director, Battlefield 6 is now super solid and performant on the Series S and will run smooth at 60 frames per second. So this is great to know, and I will say just anecdotally, as aside from this, I played at least an hour or two of the Battlefield 6 beta on my Xbox Series S. I played none of it on my Series X. I played a couple hours on my Series S, and then I played like 20 hours of it on my PC. And I will say, Battlefield 6 ran perfectly on my Series S. It had no performance issues. It booted up and ran just fine. I thought it felt better to play on PC just because, the whole realization I had about sitting in front of a screen versus laying back and chilling on the couch playing this kind of game. But it's important. I think it's important to note that, Battlefield 6 runs really well on PC. Not only that, but having played so much Battlefield 2042, that game boots up and loads like shit on my Xbox, on my PC, on anything. And then when you're in the game, like trying to get into different matches, some of these playlists just don't work. They'll just load and boot you to the main screen, and the game is a big file size, and the game is intensive on your CPU and GPU and everything. But when you play the Battlefield 6 beta compared to that, the game boots up way faster, loads way easier, works way better, and is way less intensive on your specs. Like my PC is 3 or 4 years old now. Like it's not top of line by any means. It's like it was like upper mid-range when I bought it, and so now it's probably like mid-range or worse at this point. But it plays Battlefield 6 like no problem whatsoever. So I appreciate that. What they're saying here is, in a sense, not only was developing it on the Series S a little bit of a challenge for them, but in kind of learning to adapt and work around it, they made the game better optimized and more performant. And I think, it's probably no coincidence that, in doing that, they're probably able to make the game more like better optimized and smoother on other platforms, because it's kind of like that Nintendo thing where it's like you get a game on Xbox and it's like that'll be 140 gigabytes, and then you get a game on Nintendo and it's like that's like 8 gigabytes for a game that's just as impressive as the Xbox game, and the difference is just it's all about the optimization, and obviously I'm exaggerating for just to make a point a little bit here, but I love to think, and it got the impression playing Battlefield 6 and 2042 back to back that Battlefield 6 just feels like a better optimized, smaller file size, more nimble package that is refined and ready to go. Battlefield 2042 launched in kind of a rough state and got better over time, but still shows a little bit of its roughness kind of underneath the engine to this day. But Battlefield 6 is coming out the gate as a well-oiled machine. It's I don't know. The Series S kind of reminds me like in the car world, in the automotive world, how everyone, especially in the US, like, oh man, guys are obsessed with large engines, V8s, maybe a V6, but V8s. I like big power. I like highly inefficient engines that are loud as shit and they get 4 miles to the gallon, that make a lot of noise, but they go fast. Oh boy, they go fast. And nowadays you look at like cars and the more ideal solution is like, a turbocharged four-cylinder. You get a lot more, you get a lot of power out of a tiny motor, but it's a lot more efficient. It's more fuel efficient. It's more nimble. It's more affordable. It's just all around a better thing. And you think about like how, and people throw shade and shit. Of course, everyone's got to piss on, that's a pickup truck with a turbo 4-cylinder. That's not a real truck. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. You look at a lot of these like turbo 4-cylinder cars and trucks on the road these days, and you just have more efficient vehicles. But people are always going to bitch about it because people always got to have the big bad boy thing. And that's why, if you have a fucking 2040 80i, whatever the graphics card thing that people got to have is, or you have a PS5 Pro or Series X, you think you're hot shit, but then you see the Series S and you just got to bitch and moan about it. But in reality, that thing's perfect. I mean, the Series S is the baseline. If you can make something run on that, then you're just getting the most efficient, value-driven, bang for your buck. It's everything you need, and no frills beyond that kind of thing. And I think that's just awesome that a product like the Series S is helping push developers to take optimization more seriously and to focus on trying to deliver more with less, as opposed to just taking the easy way out and being like, oh, with more power comes an easy excuse for us to poorly optimize our games and just say, oh, let your PC do the heavy lifting. So I just want to give a little shout out to the Series S, because it seems like this is a rare example where the limitations were used to positively make things better, as opposed to just scapegoat Xbox for the reason why a game is, running in a certain condition or not. So that's cool. And then here's a small one we'll just talk about briefly. We've been, Final Fantasy 16 is now on Xbox finally, but we've been waiting for more information about Final Fantasy 7 Remake coming to Xbox. And Square Enix has officially confirmed that all 3 Final Fantasy 7 Remake games, only 2 of which have been released thus far, will be released on Xbox consoles as well as PC. Last Friday, the publisher announced that Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate will be released on Nintendo Switch 2 and Xbox Series consoles on January 22nd, 2026. So that will be the first one. And then they confirmed that Rebirth, which is the second one, will come at some point along with a third game that has yet to be released or announced for any product, any of the platforms. However, they haven't clarified if that third game will release day one on Xbox alongside PlayStation, or if they'll do like what they did with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, where they will be PlayStation exclusive for a undetermined amount of time before coming to Xbox. So at least we know we're getting these games. I kept saying I will not play these games until they come to Xbox, and I'm sticking to it. I will buy this game when it comes to Xbox to show my support, and I do intend on playing it. And I know Cronky keeps saying, don't do it, don't play Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't fucking care. I'm going to do it anyway, and maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. I don't fucking know. Who cares? But I've been waiting, I don't know, what is it, 6 years now for them to put this on Xbox? I can't believe it. I honestly cannot believe it took more than 2 years for this to happen. But here we are. I got gray hairs and my grandchildren are nipping at my feet. But boy, oh boy, we're finally going to play a remake of a 30-year-old game on Xbox soon. So that's exciting. Ubisoft is out here, and they confirmed that they intend to more prominently integrate multiplayer into future installments of the popular Far Cry series. Speaking on stage at Saudi Arabia's new Global Sport Conference, that's so cool. It's so cool that Saudi Arabia has a global sport conference, and we just act like this is normal. Like Saudi Arabia is not a fucking piece of shit country with a piece of shit prince asshole and a piece of shit culture. Yeah, we just act like this is a good place to conduct business and to take bribe money from powerful evil forces. Whatever, who gives a shit? CEO Yves Guillemot, who's the Ubisoft CEO, who's old and French at the same time, was asked about the future of the shooter series, which recently fell under the control of a new Tencent-backed subsidiary, which we talked about earlier in the year. According to Guillemot, the goal of Far Cry is really to bring the multiplayer aspects of the game more predominantly, get it more pushed out so that it can be more played for longer hours by more players. Yay! The exec's commentary potentially corroborates a press report from 2023, which claimed that Ubisoft is developing a Far Cry 7 as a standalone multiplayer game. It was claimed that at the time Far Cry 7 was being made by Ubisoft in Ubisoft's Snowdrop engine rather than in the Dunia engine used for recent series entries. The multiplayer game was described as an extraction-based shooter set in the Alaskan wilderness. I will say one good thing about this because I want to bring balance and positivity to the table. A Far Cry game set in the Alaskan wilderness is a game I want to play. 100%. Now, a Far Cry game that is a multiplayer, whatever, extraction shooter is a game that makes me want to vomit, and I just want to say, haven't you guys failed enough recently, Ubisoft? Haven't you fucking failed enough in recent history? Is it not enough to have X-Defiant and whatever that Rainbow Six Siege follow-up was that didn't do very well, and all these other bombs that you've had, Skull and Bones? Is it not enough to have all of this? Can we just get a Far Cry 7? Can you just make Far Cry 7? Listen, you can push the game forward. You can try to evolve the formula, but to replace it as some kind of extraction-based shooter, like what the fuck are you doing? You can try to make it more emphasized, the multiplayer cooperative component, even though it's never been something I've personally experienced in Far Cry because I don't care about it. But come on, man. Like, really? Like, we're going to turn Far Cry into an extraction-based shooter. After all the failures you guys have had recently, you can't just let Far Cry be Far Cry. And if you want to do an extraction-based shooter, just do that separately with a new idea. Like, come on, fuck on. So now the question is, how long are we going to go without a proper Far Cry game so they can make this, have it come out, face all the fan backlash, be a total flop, get canceled, get delisted, get shut down, taken offline, and then have the announcement, hey, we're going back to basics, announcing Far Cry 8. It's a traditional boots-on-the-ground Far Cry experience you've always loved, taking place in a jungle setting again. Maybe the next one can be in Australia. I don't fucking know. And then we'll just, we'll go back and pretend that this never happened. So I'm fully expecting that is exactly the trajectory we're going to experience with Far Cry over the next 5 to 7 years. But this pains me to see because I love Far Cry. I know Far Cry is a little repetitive. A lot of people think the series has lost its flourish. I don't think it's an amazing series by any stretch of the imagination. I think after 3 and 4, I more or less had my fill. But it's like I'll play a Far Cry 7 if it's if it's as good as the previous Far Cry games. Where honestly 5 was a little bit of a miss for me, but if it's like 6 and 5 or 6 and 4 and 3, fuck yeah, give me a Far Cry 7. If it's an extraction shooter, I guess that's just more time I can spend playing Battlefield 6. That's all I really have to say about that. Ubisoft, I will continue to give your competitors my time and money while you try to figure yourself out. So enjoy being French, working with Tencent, and going to Saudi Arabia to talk about games that are about defying and overcoming awful world leaders, dictators, terrorists, and threats. So that's cool. You can go to Saudi Arabia and go be a contradictory piece of shit. That's nice. All right, guys. Speaking of contradictory pieces of shit, Sega's out here not making me the Sonic Frontiers 2 that I want so desperately. Instead, what they're doing is apparently a listing on Ryuga Gotoku, the Yakuza developers' website, claims that they accidentally have leaked an unannounced Yakuza game. According to the Yakuza Reddit, a Kiwami 3 was briefly visible on a listing of the official website, as well as on Google search results. Assuming that claims are accurate, the listing has since been removed, and the briefing sorry, my cat's trying to get on the window, to come weeks ahead of a planned live stream event in which Ryoga Gotoku is expected to reveal the next Like a Dragon game. So we'll probably see this at Tokyo Game Show in the next week or so. But a Yakuza Kiwami 3 would be a great next step for Yakuza, and I'll tell you exactly why. The reason I want them to experience or make the next Yakuza a modern remaster and reimagining of Yakuza 3 with a Kiwami 3 is because I have already played and beaten Yakuza 3, and I don't give a shit about a remake of Yakuza 3, so this will be one entry that I don't feel bad about being stuck behind a million other games in the series. And it'll give me a little bit of breathing room as I try to hopefully eventually come back to Yakuza and catch up a little bit in this series. So I welcome this with open arms because I'm on Yakuza 4. I've beaten 0, 1, 2, and 3. So if they go back and remake 3, that's great. I'll move on to 4, 5, and 6 and try to catch up. So I think this is a great idea. I think they should do it. Hopefully this is what we see at Tokyo Game Show. But you know these guys. You know RGG Studios. You know full well if they're making a remake of Yakuza 3, they're also probably months away from announcing 5 other Yakuza games. So there is no catching up. But, one can dream. One can wish. Hey, speaking of Ubisoft again, now we're going back to France/Saudi Arabia/China. Did you know that Assassin's Creed Black Flag is getting a remake? Me neither. Apparently it's not officially announced yet, but we keep getting reports and leaks and stuff. And French publication Jeux Vidéo, oh my god, these fucking French people, which has posted information on Ubisoft games in the past, says they've received details on the remake from various anonymous sources. And according to the sources, it seems likely that the game is looking at a March 2026 release. So, relatively soon, about half a year away. But at least one source suggests they weren't entirely confident that the target would be reached, given how much work is left to be done. Ubisoft Singapore is reported to be the one working on it. That's the Skull and Bones guys. And then the report from the French magazine also says that part of the present-day section of the original Assassin's Creed Black Flag is being removed and replaced with more pirate-era content because they got away from that weird Matrix shit that was in the older Assassin's Creed's games, so it will be a longer game than the original. Estimates suggest that around 4 hours of more content have been added, including sections involving the Mary Read character, which was removed from the original game. The publication also says sources have confirmed that the remake will feature more RPG-like mechanics, kind of like similar Assassin's Creed games have, the more RPG-style ones, like looting and inventory management and things like that, so that'll be insufferable. It also claims that Ubisoft plans to remove loading times to enable players to sail to each location with unbroken sequences, something that's already possible in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So that will be actually a nice addition. And then finally, they say that the game isn't aiming to compete with remakes of Resident Evil 2 or 3. It's just, but nor is it a simple remaster. They claim that it is a remake that will use the latest version of Ubisoft's Anvil engine, which was used to make Assassin's Creed Shadows, and will naturally look better than the original. But the publication warns players that they shouldn't expect current gen systems to push their limits with this title, so it's somewhere in between a remaster and a remake. However, Ubisoft has still actually not confirmed the existence of this, but we should be hearing about it relatively soon if this is something that's actually coming out in half a year or so. So that's I know that's going to be fun for a lot of people because Assassin's Creed Black Flag is probably the most, I'd say Black Flag is probably the most beloved entry in the series aside from Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. I feel like 2, Brotherhood, and Black Flag, those are the ones everyone loves the most. So this will be a pretty big deal for those fans of especially old school Assassin's Creed. Not that this means anything to me or matters in any way, but I'm happy for those who will be excited about it because, god damn it, I can be happy for other people. Don't think the worst of me all the time. Guys, Pal World, speaking about being happy for others, Pal World is a game that's finally going to leave early access next year with a large update plan for a version 1.0 release. According to developer Pocket Pair, the video post on their YouTube channel says that the content updates will be a little quiet as Pocket Pair shifts to focus on quirks and jank that lead up to the proper release of the game. So I don't give a shit about this game. I gave a shit about it for half a second before I moved on, didn't care about it. but the game was a huge success and did huge things for a Game Pass at the time. And so it's deeply relevant to this podcast. However, Pal World is something I wish to no longer speak about. So with that said, I just want to give you that update that they're working on a full release that will leave early access roughly 2 years after it came out, which is just the state of how games are done today. But with that said, let's move on and never talk about Pal World again, shall we? All right, guys, let's round out the news this week with an update from Xbox Wire. Games coming to Game Pass, games leaving Game Pass, all in the near future. But first, the post starts out with a little reminder. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 Early Access Beta starts on October 2nd. So if you buy the $100 edition of the game, or if you are a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber and you pay $30 for the premium upgrade pass, you can access the Call of Duty Black Ops beta beginning on October 2nd with early access from October, 2nd through the 8th is when the thing goes live. So I think if you just have regular Game Pass Ultimate and you don't spend the $30, or if you just pre-order the regular version of the game, I believe the beta is running from the 4th to the 8th or something like that. So you get extra time with it. Of course, if you spend that extra $30, I'm probably not going to be doing that. I'll play it during the normal run. So yeah, but it'll be super exciting for people who are interested in the next Call of Duty Black Ops game. For everyone else, which is the majority of people, it will be just your next annual Call of Duty. I got to be honest, I really, really, really want to give Black Ops 7 a try, and we can talk about this more when we get to what I've been playing. But I am a lot more bullish and optimistic about this game than I think most people are, but we'll come back to that. Moving forward, so games available today that have come to Game Pass, we got Roadcraft, we got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 coming to Game Pass Standard, For the King 2 coming to Game Pass Standard, as well as Overthrown and Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. And then we got Frostpunk 2 on Cloud Console and not PC, just Cloud Console. And then Wobbly Life coming to Cloud Console and PC. So all those are on Game Pass now. Coming soon, however, Hades will make its return to Game Pass on September 19th. On the 22nd, a Day 1 Game Pass release, Endless Legend 2, will come to PC on Game Preview. And then Sworn will come to Cloud Console and PC on the 23rd of September. Peppa Pig World Adventures comes as a Game Pass Ultimate and Standard Edition on September 25th for Cloud Console and PC. And then finally, we got 3 more here. Visions of Mana on September 25th. Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light on September 30th. And on October 7th, Sopa, Tale of the Stolen Potato, comes to Game Pass Ultimate and PC as a Day 1 Game Pass game. So lots of new games coming out over the next month or so, with that Black Ops 7 beta being the thing I care about the most there. But however, on September 30th, the following 4 games will be leaving Game Pass. So give them a go now or forever hold your peace. Terra Invicta will leave PC game preview. And then the following games will leave Cloud Console and PC, and that's Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1 and 2, as well as Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. So Ninja Gaiden 2 Black will still be there, just not the Sigma versions of the games. I think that's a little interesting. I wonder if that's a new thing they're trying and, if we take it off Game Pass, maybe we can get a bunch of people to buy these games a la carte from the store in anticipation and excitement for the imminently releasing Ninja Gaiden 4. So I'm thinking that is the play there, but it's a little bit of a bold move. You would think that they would utilize having those in Game Pass as a way to help incentivize people to subscribe, but maybe the idea is that you sell them a la carte to people who want to get ready for Ninja Gaiden 4, and then you have them subscribe to Game Pass to play Ninja Gaiden 4, and that way you can make a little money and bolster some Game Pass subscription numbers, and that might be the play there. So I feel like they're playing around with some moves here with some of their gaming catalog with a decision like that, but interesting nonetheless. Now, guys, that's going to do it for all of our news this week. I'm going to take a quick water break, come right back, and then we'll talk about what I've been playing and wrap up with some listener comments. So be right back. All right, gringos, let's get into it. So what I've been playing, shut up for a second, because before I can tell you about what I've been playing, I want to tell you about what I've been eating, but I got to ask you, the audience. I need some help with this one. So the other week when I was talking about my anniversary, we went to the mall and we passed one of those, the chocolate stores. You can buy like the truffle chocolates and everything's overpriced, and it's a chocolate store, right? And I saw, anytime you pass by a chocolate store these days, they're like, hey, we got that Dubai chocolate that's so viral on TikTok. How do you do, young child? Do you want to come inside and have a Dubai chocolate? And I'll be honest, this is one, we're kind of past it. It's kind of died down already. Like this was a thing like a year or two ago. But This is one of those internet viral things that I was actually pretty interested in trying. I'm not gonna lie. This Dubai chocolate, and for those who don't know, it's usually it's like a chocolate bar, but when you break it open, it has like a filling that's like this it's like this pistachio nougaty almost like filling. I don't know what the actual word is for it, but it's a pistachio. Actually, you know, I got it right here. It's pistachio and kadaif, Kadaif. What the fuck is that? I should come prepared. I should research these shows better. What is kadaif? I know I'm saying it wrong, but it is fucking hell if I know. A sweet spun Ottoman pastry with filling of nut and sugary syrup. Yeah, it's kind of like what's in those fucking baklava. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's like a pistachio baklava filling type whatever nonsense. Who gives a shit? It's the Dubai chocolate. You've probably seen it on the internet. It's the green filling in the chocolate. And so we went to that chocolate store. And I was like, I just want to try a piece. Because there was one time we went to a different candy store at a different mall. And they were like, oh, yeah, we've got the Dubai chocolate. You have to buy the pound. And it was like $30 a pound or something like that. And I was like, fuck that. And we left. But this place was like, no, we'll sell it to you as like a little brick, like a little bar. She's like, and we just made it, you know, we make it in-house and we made it about an hour ago. So it's still really, really fresh. And so I was like, okay, how much? And she was like, it was like $4 or $5 for like a little brick of it, you know? So it was probably, I don't know, it was probably like an ounce and a half at most of chocolate. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll try it. I'm game just to say I've had it. So I buy it, I try it, I have my girlfriend try it, I know she's going to hate it, she doesn't like pistachio, and lo and behold, she hates it. All right, my turn. I bite into it, I'm like, it's pretty good. It doesn't taste like how I imagined it tasting based on seeing it online all the time, but it is pretty good. I love pistachio. I want it to be more creamy. I want it to have like the flavor of pistachio and the texture of Nutella. So I was kind of expecting some like Nutella pistachio kind of filling, and I was really disappointed that the filling is much more like, I don't know, it's much more like solid mushy, kind of like the peanut butter filling in a Reese's cup. It was like that, texture-wise. But, you know, the chocolate was good. It was a great milk chocolate bar with this pistachio, nutty, stringy, baklava-type filling on the inside. And I was like, yeah, it was pretty solid. It wasn't what I was expecting. Pretty solid. Do I ever need to eat it again? Not really. Then fast forward to this past weekend, and we go to the ice cream shop down the road from me. So the ice cream shop down the road from me, we used to love this place. It was called Shaboom's, and it had like this 1950s Americana kitschy fun theme. And you go inside, and it was like you walked into like the Greasers hairspray set, and everyone's like, hey, Sheila, will you want to go steady with me tonight? I'll get you a nice pistachio and Rocky Road or some shit like that. And it was a cool place to get ice cream, and we used to go there all the time. A couple months back, they closed it down for good, and then the pizza shop next door to them bought the space out, refurbished the space, and then reopened it as a new ice cream shop. And this new ice cream shop sucks. You walk in there, and they have like 48 flavors, and it's like all the most basic flavors ever. It's like cherry chocolate, Snickers bar, pineapple peanut butter or something. It's just like weird, like nothing sounds good. It's like 40-something flavors, and they're all bad. So I was like, this ice cream kind of sucks, and everything's overpriced here. It's like $8 for a single scoop of ice cream. Then this place has, they ripped out all the fun, kitschy, like 1950s diner theming, and they replaced it with a wall full of TVs, just TVs everywhere. And each TV is just playing brain rot TikTok videos. It's crazy because they're like widescreen 40-something inch TVs, and they all have the fucking, you know, like when you watch YouTube shorts on a TV and you get like that little iPhone screen in the middle of your TV with giant gray bars all around. It's like that, and they're all just playing different like TikToks, and it's just brain rot the store. And they have like ads for like Labubu dolls and all this shit. I'm like, where the fuck am I? So naturally they have a case with 2 types of Dubai chocolate. And I'm like, fuck, of course. This place is all about the trends. It's all about the Instagram ability. But I was like, you know what? This brand of Dubai chocolate looks a little better. So I looked it up. I was like, you know, this is prepackaged. I wonder if I could just get this on Amazon. I look it up. It's like $22 for a bar of this stuff on Amazon. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, this place is expensive. Their ice cream's outrageous. I bet they're charging an arm and a leg. You know, we're near Disney World. We're near where all the tourists go to get Airbnbs. I'm sure they're charging a fucking arm and a leg for this Dubai chocolate here. So I asked the guy, how much for the Dubai chocolate? He goes, I've never heard of it because it's Florida and everyone's fucking on the spectrum here. And then his boss comes and he goes, oh, the Dubai chocolate, they're $10. I was like, they're both $10, both brands? He goes, yeah. I was like, which one's better? He goes, I don't know. I only had this one, but it's pretty good. And the other guy's like, oh, yeah, I had that too. And in my mind, I'm like, I thought you didn't know what the fuck Dubai chocolate was, but now you've had it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. $10? I'll try it because I'm seeing on Amazon the cheapest one like this is like $17, and the one that looks like the one they have on the shelf is like $22. So I'm like, fuck it, for $10, that's a good deal. Everything else here is expensive as hell, and your ice cream selection sucks. So instead of ice cream, let me get this bar of Dubai chocolate. All right, so round 2, I bite in. How is it? It's better than the first one. I actually like this one more than the one we had the week prior at the mall. Now, it still is disappointing because every time I bite into this, I want it to have that Nutella-like creamy texture filling, but with pistachio flavor. And instead, I'm getting more of like a Reese's type peanut butter filling, but it's like a pistachio spread. It's good. I like it. I like this one a lot. I ate like 2 bites of it, and then I put the rest in the freezer because I love cold chocolate, because that's something my family cursed me with at a young age, is a love for chocolate and chocolate at a cold temperature. And I ate it all in like a day. It was good. It was really good, actually. But here's the thing is, am I a Dubai chocolate believer? No, I think it's good. I like it. And if it was like I could go to the grocery store and be like, oh, do I want the chocolate with nuts? Do I want the chocolate with cookies and cream? Do I want the plain milk chocolate? Do I want the chocolate with caramel? Or do I want the Dubai style pistachio chocolate? And they're all like the same price, like $3 or $4 a bar. I would get this kind of candy more regularly. Like I would try Dubai chocolate on a more frequent interval, but with it being this hard to find, obnoxious, like trendy, overpriced like product you have to seek out in order to get your hands on, I think I'm good. I think I've tried enough of them that I'm like, hopefully between the 2 brands I tried, I have authentically tried Dubai chocolate. But then my girlfriend's sister, who was visiting us last weekend, was like, oh, where was it made? I was like, the packaging says Turkey. And she goes, yeah, that's not real Dubai chocolate. I was like, well, where the fuck is real Dubai chocolate? She's like, probably in Dubai. I'm like, that's bullshit. That's like saying I've never had pizza because I've never been to Italy. This is fucking nonsense. Have I had real Dubai chocolate or not? Now I'm starting to get insecure again that I didn't really try Dubai chocolate. I tried some knockoff variants of it, and it's stressing me out. It's really getting to me. So Dubai chocolate, have you heard of it? Have you had it yourself? What do you think? Do you have any insight on it for me? I thought it was just fine. I don't got much more about it to say, but that's kind of my experience. So that's it for what I've been eating. I just had to get that all off my chest and vent to you guys about Dubai chocolate. But with that said, let's move into what I've been playing, because last week I talked about Chronos, and I said, oh, guys, I'm playing Chronos. It's this new game. If you like Dead Space and Resident Evil, it's kind of like that. I'm about 3-4 hours into Chronos, and here's the thing is, I like this game. I have like no drive or urge to play this game. I woke up on Saturday morning and I played it for like 2 more hours, and I was like, this game is good. I like it. It is obnoxious that there's no difficulty setting and that the game is a little hard, and I've died a bunch of times only 4 hours into the game. And I know that there's going to get a point in this game where I'm going to like rage quit on it, and that's going to piss me off. So it's the combination of knowing that the game is going to get gruelingly hard as I progress through the game, paired with the fact that the game is good, but for some reason it's not just like, I'm not obsessed with it. Like I want to be like obsessed with it, but I'm not. And I don't think it's because the game is bad. I think it's because I forced myself to play this game because I was trying not to get stuck on multiplayer shooters again at a time where it didn't matter. I just wanted to play multiplayer shooters. So I played a few more hours of Chronos. I liked the game. But then I just went back to Battlefield 2042 and played another 10 hours of that this weekend. And then I said, no. I want to play some Black Ops 6. So I started playing some Black Ops 6, and I think the algorithm's trying to get me back in because they keep putting me in matches where I am fucking slaughtering people. And I can't tell if it's because Battlefield is so much harder than Call of Duty that now by comparison, when I jump over to Call of Duty, I fucking kill at it. Or if it's that the Call of Duty algorithm is like, oh, this guy hasn't played in a long time and he used to play a lot. Let's lob him a bunch of easy games to make him feel good so he'll come back. But for the first time in a long time, I had a lot of fun playing Black Ops 6 this weekend because I don't know. I was getting put in good matches and it was feeling good. It's just so weird. Like, this game just doesn't have the stickiness that, like, to me, Black Ops Cold War had or Modern Warfare 2 had. But it is good, and I do like it. It's one of the weirder modern Call of Duties because it was like most of these new Call of Duties, I either love them or I hate them. It's like, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 3, those games suck. It's like, Cold War, Modern Warfare 2, those games are fucking awesome. But Black Ops 6 is like, on paper, this game is excellent. In execution, it's just like, it's not doing it for me. It's got all the components, it's got all the things, but like it kind of falls short in every category. Zombies feels like zombies, but doesn't look like zombies. Multiplayer looks and feels good, but for some reason isn't sticking with me. The campaign is like, why is this the random left turn you chose to take in the story, but otherwise looks and feels like Black Ops? It's a weird game for me, this Black Ops 6, but I am very, very, very optimistic that Black Ops 7 is going to be like a great Call of Duty, and the reason why Black Ops 6 kind of falls short a little bit was because they weren't able to put as much time and care into it because they were trying to develop it alongside Black Ops 7, and Black Ops 7 was kind of more the primary project they were working on, and so I am very optimistic, a little nervous, a little apprehensive, but curious and excited to see what they do with Black Ops 7. But that said, that's it for what I've been playing, you guys. And with that said, let's wrap up with our best and last section of the podcast. The comments, the shoutouts, you know how it works. You go over to youtube.com, Xbox On Podcast, you click on the latest episode, you leave a comment. You can be an asshole. I wish you wouldn't. You can be a nice guy. I wish you would. You can leave a review on podcast services, Apple services, Spotify, whatever you use. I would appreciate that because it would signal boost the show and help new people to discover the show. And then if new people discover the show, they will join the Xbox On cult. Then they will subscribe to my Patreon. Then I will get money. Then I will use that money to buy more video games. And the video games will make me violent. And just like RFK Jr. says, I will then want to kill people because when I play Halo and I explode a Halo ring with Arbiter in the backseat of my Warthog, I just go, ooh, I want to kill some small children in the school right now. That's what I feel. And so I think that's a totally normal conclusion to draw. It's just like how, when people watch movies with guns, how they start killing everyone. It's just like how that happens all the fucking time. Yep, that's what video games do too. It's just too realistic. What happens is the video games are too realistic these days. The kids' brains can't tell what's a video game in real life. Yeah, when I'm commuting at 5:30 in the goddamn morning to my office job, I can't tell the difference between that and shooting Nicki Minaj in the asshole on Black Ops 6. They're indistinguishable for me. So clearly, if I end up getting a gun and murdering people, innocent people in cold blood, it's just because the video games are too violent and too damn realistic for me to realize that I'm at work punching emails in to people in different departments who are unable to help me and unconcerned with my problems, and not that I'm playing Call of Duty and the game's so realistic when I'm fighting in Afghanistan with the Ninja Turtles and SpongeBob SquarePants that I just think, oh my god, I'm supposed to start killing people because this isn't real life, this is Call of Duty. Anyway, Sam Frito writes in and says, I can listen to Podcasts Unlocked. That's the IGN Xbox podcast for those who don't know. I can listen to Unlocked, but all Ryan eats is Factor. I can listen to Xbox too, but all Jez and Rand eat are mice and ketchup, allegedly. I don't know what Colt Eastwood consumes. Ding Dong's hostess type. Jesse, you come at us with what you've been eating, and you let us know the upstairs phone and piano guy, hidden dessert layer of Burns / Illuminati national treasure. Nick Cage steak manor. Dude, much respect. Ask X1 bro what he's eating. Casa Bueno burrito from 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven? What the fuck is happening? Is that supposed to be 7-Eleven? 7-Eleven? 7-Eleven. Okay, I got you. Ha ha ha. Update. I asked Xbox On from across the pond what they were eating, and they spouted, fuck off and let me eat toads in a hole in a crunchy knockwurst. Oh my god. I always forget that there's an official Xbox YouTube show called Xbox On. Fucking hate that exists. Why? They need to end that. They need to end it. They need to end it. I was here first, I think. I don't know. I didn't do the research. I was here first, in my opinion. And America is more important than the UK. So just by way of Xbox being an American company, me being an American citizen, me being radicalized by playing games with guns in them, oh man, dude, I played Fortnite the other day, and I got a crown for shooting fucking Peter Griffin, and now I'm so radicalized. Oh, when I go to the grocery store, I don't know the difference between picking up basil for my fucking mozzarella flatbread I'm making versus shooting grandma in the face because the graphics are too realistic on Fortnite. The banana suit guy and the fish song about every fish in the sea being the fish for him. It's just too realistic. I can't discern the difference between commuting in traffic and killing. It's all the same to me now. Anyway, Sam Frito, I appreciate it. I think it's important that gamers are nourished and fed, and that in order for us to understand and respect the Xbox platform and the games that we play and the way we understand video games that we love, I think it's important for us to share the food we've been eating, because you think to yourself, wow, Black Ops 7 is a great game, or Battlefield 6 is a great game, or Ninja Gaiden 4 looks phenomenal. I can't wait to play that game, or I love that game, or I want to play that game, whatever. But you think, how will I play Battlefield 6? How will I play Ninja Gaiden 4 if I'm not nourished? And you're not, let me tell you what, you're not going to get nourished by beans and toast. You're not going to get nourished by ketchup or mice. You're not going to get nourished by Factor, which if you use the code XboxOn10 for 10% off your first order, I get a small kickback from that. So if you want to help your boy out, be sure to use the code in the link below. Thanks, and don't forget to like and subscribe. But it's like, is that really the sustenance that's going to give you the reason to live and the reason to move forward? Or is a combination of Burns Steakhouse, a Sonic value menu, Dubai chocolate, Taco Bell limited time only items, Publix subs, like these are the things that make a man. These are the things that get your heart racing, quite literally. You should see a doctor about your cholesterol and blood pressure if you're eating the way I'm eating in these podcasts. And the fact of the matter is, why am I able to shoot Call of Duty bad guys in the face all day long and then become radicalized by the video games I play and then go kill innocent people in the streets? It's because I got food that's nourishing me and replenishing me and enabling me to do so. When I go to churches and open fire on conservatives because I'm a crazy liberal that's starting a war, it's because one time I played Alan Wake and his wife drowned in a lake and he became an obsessed author and started using flashlight with Duracell batteries, and that radicalized me to want to kill, to want to murder the religious people of the church. So I just think it's important that that you use the code XboxOn10 for 10% off your first order, and don't forget to like and subscribe. For those just joining us, we're talking about the food that fuels us. Gamers, you can't drive a car with no gas in it. So how can you expect to stay up all night gaming if you're not eating right? And that's why I just wanted to read this comment to start with. So thank you, Sam Frito. Very big penis, very good question, very observant you are, and you're awesome. But you know what's not awesome? Babies. They poop a lot, and they're stupid. So Cronky writes in and says, I've been trying to step away from gaming a bit lately as I'm preparing for a baby to join the family. But Chronos, man, that game has captivated me. Also, I really think Machine Games is working on Quake right now, as I firmly believe the tease that they put in that indie reveal was real. I forgot about that. I really hope they are working on Quake. That's like the one thing they could be doing. That's not Wolfenstein. That'd be like, okay, that's cool. I'm on board. But Cronky, I wish I could share your optimism, but boy, oh boy, I really think they're working on an Indiana Jones sequel, at least right now. But hey, Dead Captain James says congrats on the baby. So there you go. He said, I don't envy the baby stage, but having kids is a blast. So that sucks. So you get to look forward to not sleeping, apparently. I don't have kids. I have 2 cats. One of my cats is laying on the ground right now like she's dying because she's so bored that I'm talking to the microphone and not giving her attention. But so I kind of know what it's like to have kids because I think cats are cute, and so that somehow equates. But just like how playing games with guns has radicalized me to murder children and Christians, having cats has radicalized me to get a vasectomy and never have kids, because I just think cats are so adorable that it's radicalized me to the point where I can't tell the difference between a human baby and a cat. Sometimes I pick up a cat and I'll just start changing its diaper, and then I go, oh my god, that's not a diaper, that's fur. I'm shaving your fur off. Now you got a butt that's showing. You got a furless butt because the graphics on the cats are so realistic these days. That's the thing about these fucking Hollywood types, is they make the graphics so good on the cats nowadays that I go, is that a baby? Goo goo gaga. And then the cat goes, meow, and I can't tell the difference. To me, it looks like a baby. And then next thing you know, I'm shooting fucking grandma in the face in the middle of a Publix parking lot because, oops, Call of Duty told me to. But thank you for writing in, Cronky. Good luck with the baby. God, one thing I would not want to do these days is put a kid in school. Fucking good luck with that. Maybe homeschool him. That seemed to work out for our family. Just kidding. Hey, Dead Captain James, speaking of the father of two, he writes in and says, I'm doing much better this week. Shoulders healing nicely. I wish I was getting a cyborg shoulder. However, I had a torn labrum. Labrum. I don't know anything. I'm not medically inclined. So I needed 6 anchors and sutures, I don't fucking know anything, to keep my shoulder from constantly popping out of socket and to keep my nerves from electrically shocking myself all the time. Dead Captain James, that sounds like the most miserable thing I've ever heard in my entire life. At that point, I would have just pulled my arm out and been like, no more arm for me, no more video games. I've been radicalized anyway. I'm just going to get my arm replaced with a fucking machine gun because I played Dave Mara BMX when I was a kid, and now I just want to ride my bike all over innocent people. He said, today I was able to actually play a game, so yay. That is awesome news, though. Dead Captain James, I'm glad to hear you're healing nicely. I hope you continue to heal really well. And hopefully you feel good as new in no time, and you're able to play not just all your favorite games that utilize a gamepad, but all your favorite games like Guitar Hero and other games that include more motion. I know you're a huge Xbox Connect fan, and you often play that Han Solo dancing game on your Xbox Connect. And who knows, maybe soon enough you'll be able to go to the arcade and play Time Crisis 3. Now that is a game that's so realistic because the controller is actually shaped like a Call of Duty gun. So when you play a game like Time Crisis 3 at the arcade, you might accidentally get confused by the amazing graphics, and then you will point your arcade gun at innocent people around the Dave & Buster's in which you're playing the game, and then you'll start opening fire and murdering them. But just know this isn't your fault. It's not that you're evil. It's just that you've been radicalized by the hyper-realistic gameplay of Time Crisis 3 because Dead Captain James, if I'm not mistaken, you're a teacher, you're an educator. So I'm sure if you're playing Time Crisis 3, you're probably going to go, oh my God, taking cover and shooting bad guys in PS2 graphics feels indiscernible from teaching social studies to 8th graders. And you're going to go, I think I can't tell the difference now, and I'm going to have to start murdering people in the real world. And so you got to be careful with a game like Time Crisis 3. Just because you have the shoulder for a game like Time Crisis 3 doesn't mean you should shoulder the responsibility of playing such a violent and realistic game, because that's the kind of graphics Hollywood's putting out these days. And then to round us out, guys, Decoy Doctopus has the final write-in, and he says, I'm curious why you rooted for the Arizona Coyotes. I, like you, didn't get into NHL games probably because I was bad at it, but go Padres. Or sorry, it doesn't say go Padres. I love it. You're talking about hockey, and then you end it by saying, go Padres. Yeah, fuck it. MLB, let's go. Sorry, the mic was like half blocking the last part of the comment, so I just kind of like assume read. Well, the problem with these comments is you guys write in with these comments, and the graphics are so good on these. Okay, I'll shut up. I promise. You say you didn't say go Padres. You said go Preds. Okay, all right. Fucking weirdo, dude. You love Predators. You're fucking freak, dude. Anyway, why do I like the Arizona Coyotes? This is an excellent question, Decoy Doctopus. The reason I like the Arizona Coyotes, despite the fact that I've never been to Arizona in my life, is because I am a perpetual fan of 90s sports teams, because in the 90s, we had all the coolest shit. We had the coolest video games, we had the coolest interior design, we had the coolest TV shows, and just everything was cool. Like every style and thematics and theming and ideas and cartoons and music and everything was just loud and expressive and wacky and fun. And so it's like, you look at hockey, it's like you look at like the legendary classic teams. You look at like the fucking Maple Leafs and the Rangers and the Bruins. And it's like these logos are fucking lame. These are like logos you would find on a pair of pants. These are like companies that should be making attire. Like, it's fucking boring. These logos are dumb, they're lame, and quite frankly, they're a little gay. But you look at like 90s teams, like in hockey. Hockey is a great sport in the sense that like they have some of the most fun teams in terms of logos, mascots, names, iconography, text, all of it. I mean, in the 90s, you get the Arizona Coyotes and you get the Anaheim Ducks. And from a purely an aesthetic standpoint, you also get the Sharks. The Sharks were also a 90s team, right? Yeah, San Jose. So San Jose, Anaheim, and Arizona, because there was that big expansion into the West, especially in the 90s. Anyway, the Coyotes to me have, without a doubt, they have the coolest logo, the coolest iconography, the best uniforms. They just look fucking awesome. So cool. I love it. It's the same reason why in baseball, my favorite team is the Tampa Bay Rays, because, well, Tampa Bay Rays is a little different. They're just my favorite sports team in general, because one, they satiate my love of like the 90s design and aesthetic, like that fucking, the black and purple and white look, that like the old Rays colors and logo. Fucking phenomenal. The green and purple and black, I absolutely, dude, so good. The Stingray, the Devil Ray logo is so badass. The logo, the font, all of it just looks phenomenal. The Tampa Bay Rays, such a freaking awesome. The Devil Rays, such an awesome team. And then that paired with my lifelong love of the city of Tampa and just curiosity about that part of the world for some godforsaken reason. But yeah, I mean, dude, so many of them. Even in basketball, like I'm not an NBA fan. Like, I don't have a favorite basketball team. I don't really care about basketball. But if I had to choose a team, honestly, might be the Toronto Raptors, because until recently, their old icon was a fucking raptor. It was a dinosaur, and it wasn't just any dinosaur. It was a red dinosaur dribbling a basketball, and that's kind of fucking badass. And so it's like, yeah, I could. The NFL is the worst one. Football teams in general, college football, NFL, they have, without a doubt, say what you will about football, but they have the worst fucking teams. They have the worst mascots. They have the worst names. They have the worst logos. They're so fucking boring. You know what? Can you think of a single sports team that is more like soul-crushingly stupid and boring and just depressing as the Green Bay Packers? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, who gives a flying fuck? And all the sports teams that are like just vaguely offensive, like Native American shit. Like, I'm from Atlanta. Our baseball team is the Atlanta Braves. I grew up going to Turner Field. I love the Braves. I'll always love the Braves. I have a soft spot for Atlanta sports, but like, I don't give a shit about the Braves logo or mascot. That shit's so stupid. The tomahawk chop. It's not like one of those, oh, you're being woke. Oh, it's not racist. You're just stupid. You're just woke and sensitive. It's like, no. The Washington Redskins needed to change their name, not because it was offensive. It's because Redskins is a stupid fucking name, and their icon was fucking stupid. It was dumb. It was, we don't need it. It's just dumb, okay? Redskins are dumb. The Braves are dumb. All that shit's dumb. I just don't understand. Now, in football, I'll give Tampa another win, because even though they're from the 70s, not the 90s, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that's the coolest team in football by a mile, dude. They're fucking Pirates. Are you kidding me? Pirates? And like, not like the stupid like Pittsburgh Pirates in baseball, where they pussyfoot about being pirates and like, oh, look, it's a yellow letter P with black. It's like, no. These are real pirates. The Buccaneers are like, fuck you. They got the fucking Jolly Roger, and their stadium's got a whole goddamn ship smashed into the middle of the stadium. Like, that shit's cool. So it's just, it's the same reason why I'm a weird like Disney theme park fan. It's because I love theming. I love wackiness. I love over the top design and just immersion and stupidity. And to me, it's like 90s sports teams. God, they're so good. But yeah, that's why that's why I was an Arizona Coyotes fan. Now I am a homeless hockey fan, because I love hockey. I'm excited to watch hockey this season, but I don't have a fucking team, because Atlanta doesn't have a team, and the Coyotes are dead, and Lightning's fine. I'm generally a Tampa sports fan, so I guess I'm just gonna default to Tampa Bay Lightning now. I'm still gonna follow Utah Mammoth a little bit, just because my boys are still there, so I don't know. I'm really sad that as the MLB season starts to close out and NHL starts to pick up, I'm a little sad, because I feel so like just homeless in terms of like having a team to care about this season. Last season it was okay, because like when it was like Utah Hockey Club, I'm like, those are my Coyotes. They literally just took them and moved them up north a little bit. I was like, those are my boys, and I followed them. But now it's like, it's really set in. Now it's like, they're not the Coyotes now. They really are this Utah sports team. And I'm like, that's dumb. And the Mammoth isn't a horrible one. It's not a horrible logo, not a horrible name, but it's not a great one, you know? So anyway, one of the potential ones was Yeti, which would have been fucking awesome. Having a freaking mountain snow monster as your logo with a blizzard like Expedition Everest kind of fucking twist and theming. That would have been cool. But no, of course, it's not the 90s anymore. We don't have cool. We have fucking lame, minimalist, boring ass, lame designs that are lame and dumb and lame. So that's where we are. So Decoy Doctopus, I hope I over answered your question, and I hope you respect my answer because, you know, a lot of people choose their home team because it's like, oh, my parents went to college here, or like, oh, I'm from this town. You know, that's the most common one. I'm from this town, or like whatever. It's like, oh, my dad left us and moved to this city, and so I like that team because my dad lives there or something. It's like everyone's got like their reason, right? And it's always something about like a hometown, a college, something like that, right? But for me, it's like, listen, the players are on a different team every 25 goddamn seconds. Not to mention, it's like in the MLB, all these players are from the Dominican Republic. None of them are even fucking from the U.S. And then in hockey, all these players are fucking like Russian and Eastern European and Canadian. So it's not like you root for them because it's like, oh, I love Tampa, so I support Tampa teams because all the players are from Tampa. It's like, no, it's not how it works. And in 2 years, the entire team's makeup is going to be different. So it's like, if it's arbitrary and everyone's just following the dollar and people are from everywhere and none of that matters, you might as well just pick the teams based on which colors and logos you like the best. So to me, I think that's a pretty reasonable way to determine what sports teams you like. But yeah, that's how I do it. So Arizona Coyotes, rest in peace. Atlanta Thrashers, rest in peace. Turner Field, rest in peace. Everything I love about sports dies in my lifetime. Tampa Bay Rays, I don't know how the fuck you're still here, but I thank God every day that you exist as you get your ass kicked by the Toronto fucking Blue Jays right now, which is depressing as hell. I really wanted you to get that wild card spot, but it's not going to happen. And with that said, guys, that's going to do it for our podcast. I've been radicalized because the graphics in baseball are just too good nowadays, and now I just want to hit everyone with a baseball bat all the time. I just can't tell the difference between watching baseball on TV and beating up old women with baseball bats. So I got to end this podcast so I can just go senselessly murder people because the guys in California, the Hollywood types, are just making the graphics in baseball way too good nowadays. But with that said, guys, I hope you have a great week. Hopefully you don't get in my way because I will not stop. I will have to obliterate because I've been radicalized by video games. But eat some delicious food. Watch your favorite sports team. Enjoy whatever the fuck it is you enjoy. I don't give a shit. So long as you're having a good time, you're not causing any trouble, just go be your happy little self. But yeah, play your video games, eat your food, love your family, be good, do the things you got to do, earn your keep. Until next week, power your dreams.